Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today on Moneyball we have, as you can see on screen, Harry Kane, and I'm going to show you the cheaper alternatives for him because he is sitting at £140 in limited. And just before we get into the video, guys, if you can please subscribe, like the video and share it to all your friends, that'd be greatly appreciated. But now let's get on to the first player. Now again, you know how this works if you watched previous episodes. As you can see on the screen, these are the sort of scores that this particular player is getting. That is the alternative to Harry Kane. And as you can see, with his decisive actions as well, the last 6 months have been 50.6, accompanied by 13.2 of AA. Last 3 months, 52.1 and 14.3, and in the last month, there's been 63.3 and 16.8 plus positive AA. The next little hint will be he plays in La Liga, so you can use him obviously in Champion Europe. And as you can see, he also plays for Atletico Madrid. French lad as well is of course Antoine Griezmann of Atletico Madrid. Now as you can see on screen, his L5 is 72, L15 is 69 and L40 of 67 is very similar, if not just the same, to Harry Kane, and even at half the price for someone who is, yes, 2 years older, but he's still doing it firmly in La Liga. And at just under £70, like I said, half the price of Harry Kane. I don't think this guy's too shabby. You're not missing out on Champion Europe, and obviously you can also always use him in All-Star Limited. Obviously, even with the rare price, you can see there at just £530, where Harry Kane is about £1,100 to £1,200 for the moment, as I'm recording, for his rare card. Now, as you can see on the screen, since roughly the start of this season, which was around 6 months ago, we have got his scores from game week 397 all the way to 443. Yes, not hitting 100, but been very, very close, obviously, with that 95 and 94 sitting there, but he's roughly getting some beautiful averages across the board. And I would say Griezmann is a pivotal factor in that Atletico Madrid side, with them currently sitting in 4th place in the La Liga standings. Even with their losses in the 5-3 loss against Real Madrid a couple of weeks back, and also against Girona, which was also 4-3, he's obviously chipping, as you can see there, with a goal and assist for one game against Real Madrid of all clubs, and then an assist against a really good informed Girona side. So for someone who is about half the price of Harry Kane, you're saving yourself a large chunk of money there. And like I said, go check out those other Moneyball episodes, see other alternatives on people like Joshua Kimmich, Lionel Messi, and also Trent Alexander-Arnold. The next player I have here is a little less than Antoine Griezmann, and he's still putting up scores like this, and this is from this season. In the last 6 months, these scores, as you can see, he has hit 100 a couple of times, and nearly a third time, as you can see there, hitting 98 a couple of weeks back. Your next little clue is that he does play in the Portuguese league, playing for the likes of Sporting Lisbon, and obviously Swedish, so you've probably guessed it by now. It is, of course, Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon. So the 25-year-old had a really good season last season with the Coventry, and now has ultimately given him the move to the Portuguese giants of Sporting Lisbon. L5 of 74, L15 of 62 is lovely indeed. As you can see there, he is £60, which is about £10 less than Griezmann, but a bit more on the expensive side when it comes to his rares. And that, I think, obviously comes down and dwindles down to the age. He's obviously 25, Harry Kane is 30, so there's 5 years difference in that. And there's also between Antoine Griezmann, who is 7 years difference in regards to Victor here. So like I said before, showing you who the player was, he's obviously putting up some brilliant scores here, a 98 and 88 in most recently. In that 25 there in game week 441, he actually had 2 big chances missed. So again, I know he's not the best, but he was getting himself in those sort of goal scoring opportunities, and on a better day he would have put them away, giving him those last nice little dark greens at least. Now, as you can see, with just Sporting alone, he's had 22 appearances, 16 goals, 9 assists, and yeah, just phenomenal. 25 goal contributions within 22 games, obviously over 1 a game, which is absolutely fantastic if you're picking up a player like this. That's what you want. His AA scoring itself isn't actually all too good, it's about average, but again, he is a striker, so someone who is not essentially going to be mostly on the ball. He is there just to score the goals. But we will go through the AA like we always do. 9.3 in the last 6 months, last 3 months 7.4, and in the last month it's been 10 exactly. And like I said, guys, this isn't with Sweden or anything like that. This is just with Sporting Lisbon themselves. But again, for less than half the price, I mean, you're talking like 60 quid, which is obviously a lot cheaper than Harry Kane. yeah, you can pick up yourself some lovely little players there to go alongside Gyökeres here. And yeah, L1562, very lovely. L574. And like I said, with his scores, guys, it just speaks for themselves. He does really, really well. Has done really, really well in his first season with Sporting Lisbon as well. Only can get better from here. And I feel like he's on for a big money move at the end of the season. And I've got a phenomenal player to show you next. Again, I'm not too sure why he's so cheap. We'll get into that in a minute. But in regards to his scores, you can see there, lovely across the board, hitting highs of nearly 100 and 100 back on from last season. Might be a bit of a giveaway, but he does play in the Premier League and is playing currently in AFCON at the moment. And if that didn't help you, this sure as hell will. The Egyptian guy from Liverpool is, of course, Mohamed Salah of Liverpool. Now, obviously, we know this guy's a phenomenal player. It does say he's currently injured at the moment with a hamstring, but as the time recording, I'm recording this on the 25th. Apparently, he's back from the 31st, so he's back in 6 days' time anyway. And in which case, he is playing for Egypt at the moment, which you can still utilise him in. And of course, the Premier League, when and if he is back from the AFCON. And L15 of 67, L5 of 74. Obviously, Liverpool have been doing really well so far this season, with Liverpool being 5 points ahead of Manchester City. Man City do have a game in hand, but again, still 2 points ahead if City do win that. And Liverpool doing really well, like I said, being in first place, beating a very dominant City side. Of course, got DMP here because obviously that's when he was going to AFCON. And with here, obviously, I think he did his injury within training. But look, again, this sort of phenomenal stat here, 44 games, that's with 4 sub appearances, 31 goals, 18 assists, which is just absolutely phenomenal there. That's 49 goal contributions within 44 games. And the fact from, according to Sorare data, obviously do your research for any of these players, guys, but he said he's back on the 31st of Jan, which I said it's only 6 days away from the time of recording and from the time you see this video. But I really think that's a steal for somebody here, as you can see here, just above my head, is 14th in regards to his rankings on Sorare. At £41, I just think it's a bit of a steal, even at 31 years of age. Contracted 2025, so still got another year and a half left on his contract at least. And in which case, if he did move, it's going to be a big money move, probably somewhere else, even if he is 32, 33. Anyway, we get on to the next player, and this is the next one. See if you can guess it beforehand. But as you can see on screen, he has some really, really good scores there, hitting 100 most recently and even an 85 just from the game week that's gone. He does indeed play for an Eredivisie team. So obviously anyone looking to build a Challenger Europe squad, I mean, this guy's going to be up there for sure. And he does play for Ajax, and he is Dutch, and he does play on the left wing as well as a striker from time to time. It is, of course, Steven Bergwijn of Ajax. Now, look at that lovely L15 of 67. Even the L40 of 60 showcases again how well he does over a lengthy span of time. Even the L5 of being 90 as well showcases how in form he has been with hitting that 100 and 85 more recently, all for the price of just £30. Nearly 5 times cheaper than Harry Kane at 140. Even the rare price is less than 4 times or 5 times the amount of Harry Kane sitting £1,200. He is currently rated 16th overall in regards to the Sorare data rankings. And in the scores, as I showed you briefly, they're really, really good. Now, I just want to take into mind his form for Ajax as opposed to Netherlands, but in the last 37 games in the last year, he's had 12 goals and 7 assists with 1 penalty, 1 also. So 20 goal contributions essentially in 37 games, and that's not too shabby considering how poor of a start Ajax had to the start of this season. As you can see here from game week 397, I mean, they got off with a win, but then as you can see, slowly started to lose some form. But with now Ajax climbing the table, now in 5th place in the league, he is just one of a few of the talismans that Ajax have to thank to bring their form back into play. Now, why this guy might potentially be cheap is that he is being eyed up by West Ham at the moment, so he could potentially move there. It didn't quite work out for his first stint with Tottenham, obviously, in the Premier League, but a good player nonetheless in the Eredivisie, and he could well work for a team like West Ham. Now, we're getting into cheaper territory here. This guy is actually half the price. And I'm not talking about Harry Kane, I'm talking about Bergwijn. And for the scores, like I said, as you can see here, from the span of this season and last season, he's putting up some really good dark green scores. And your next little hint is that he does play in the second tier of the Bundesliga in Germany, and he does play for Hertha Berlin in that second tier, and he is German. And it is, of course, Fabian Reis of Hertha Berlin. Now, at the moment, he's currently got an infection that should be relatively quick to come back and start playing. He has missed the last couple of game weeks because of it. So that's why his L5 is of 55 and is only at 60%. But as you can see, his L40 of 64 and his L15 of 67 just again showcases how well he does over a great span of time. And also, from what you can probably see there, he is sitting at £16 floor price at the moment, which I think is really good, and I think it's obviously low because of this infection, and only £130 in regards to rare as well, which is 10 times cheaper than someone like Harry Kane, and even obviously in limited. So now he's only had 2 DMPs because of that infection, as I said, over the last few game weeks, but he has put up some phenomenal scores, nearly hitting 100 on quite a few occasions. And since the start of this season, 15 appearances with 4 goals and 4 assists, so 8 goal contributions in 15 games. For someone who's playing on the left sort of wing, yes, it's not really quite Harry Kane position, but this is definitely someone I had to showcase you guys, who is, like I said, 10 times cheaper than someone like Harry Kane. Also, I want to mention he's hitting 15th at the moment. Literally, I think it's just above or below Salah. So this is the sort of player as well that you can rely on to get you some really good positive AA scores as well. In the last 3 months alone, it's been 18.5, and in the last 6 months has been 19.9. So again, really good and positive. But again, for someone like Fabian Reis, for literally £16, yes, you can't play him in Champion Europe, but you can play him in Second Division Europe, or maybe just go all out and go into that All-Star Limited. So this is the G1, and in comparison to Harry Kane, obviously, yes, you're not getting the 90s, 80s, 100s mark, but you are getting consistent scorer nonetheless. I've had to do it from all time because from last season, he was playing for a relegated squad, and I'll show you this now. So he does play now in the J1 League, which is the first tier in Japanese football. He is Brazilian, and he does play for Urawa Reds. Sort of nearly screwed that up then. It is Thiago Santana. Now, with this guy, his L15 is 61 and L5 is 62. This was from his previous season, I believe, from the team he went down with to the J2 League. Nonetheless, he's only at just under £10 at the moment, and £9, or even just 100 for the rares. So as you can see on screen, he's now moved to this club now, and from last season they finished in this position, and that's obviously going to help him hopefully obtain a lot more goals and assists throughout this next coming season. So as you can see on screen, he did play for Shimizu S Pulse of J2 League last season, but again, you can see here from his all-time score, he's played 71 games, 33 goals and 8 assists, so not too shabby at all. Basically a goal contribution every other game, and yeah, I think someone like this, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I think someone like this is definitely solid for their £9.50 mark, £9.40 mark. So I definitely think someone like Thiago is a definite shout for someone who's less than 10 times again, or 11, 12 times the price of Harry Kane. I think is well worth a shout and well within someone's budget to go into the Asia competition, or if you wanted to strike for your luck, go for that All-Star Limited lineup. Anyway guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you can please leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated, and share it around, and also give the Twitter a follow at Sorare. As you can see on screen, these are a bunch of videos that I post pretty much once or twice a week, so get onto it, subscribe to the channel, it's all for free, and I hope to see you guys next time. See you later, bye bye.